Hey now, get off that there wagon. Round up that there cow.
And a one fish, two fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. And a red fish, blue fish. And a red fish, blue fish. All right, we are going Twitch. Yo, Celis Australia's in the house. And we've got CS Bond, baby. Yeah, time zone inconsistencies. Our clocks got screwed up over the weekend. Hum diddy hum diddy hum diddy hum. I'm gonna check the YouTube. I'm pretty sure it's fine. It is way back there, isn't it? Pretty sure it's fine. There we go. We're good. Sorry, I had to run the same cartoon. I couldn't find the one I showed on Saturday. It is way back there, isn't it? Pretty sure it's fine. Oh, here, we'll turn that YouTube off. All right, what are we working on today? Pirate outfit. I'm going to get the pirate outfit out of Marvel's Designer. And we're going to get it set up on Genesis 9 and Genesis 8. We'll get it set up and hopefully put into Substance today. I don't think I'm actually going to texture it because if I can get that done, I might move on to trying to do a cutlass in the scabbard. Charles is going to scabbard. Charles, you got your scabbard. Um, where are we at? We're waiting for Marvelous Designer. That's where we're at. All right, let's open up the pirate outfit. I still haven't submitted the trench coat. I was a slug yesterday. Focusing hard. I'm really close though. I'm optimistic I'll get it done today. I still have to render a couple of promos. Dum 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 dum. We're doing an open, aren't we? Doing an open project. Yes, an open project. I am going to. That was the last one I saved over on Saturday at 4:10. So this should be good. I think the only thing we have left to do in here is to set up a few more material zones on here. We we were working on the belt. I'm kind of happy with the pants. So we're going to call these cuffs. We're going to have to make some adjustments to the boots later on. I need to add a waistband in here. And then we also want to add some little trim lines as we like to do. We'll do that. What do we got over here? What is this hot mess? I have something called pants. We have belt. We have pants, belt. Why do I have pants, belt? I have too many belts. Pants, belt, attachment. That's these things. I could have reorganized this. This is going to be under belt. This is going to be over belt. These are going to be belt attachments. So we're going to bleat, pants bleat. What the hell's a bleat? Dang, dude. I'm finding that half of the stuff I type belt. I typed bleat again. Half the stuff I type, I have to retype. It's getting worse. That's not a good sign. Sorry about that. Ugh. It's almost spring. Feels like springtime. It's 71 degrees today. It's sunny. I'm being a slug. I gotta do some stuff. I'm gonna do it tomorrow, though. Oh, yeah. Happy Get Over It Day, by the way, for my American friends. Here, we're gonna call you belt under. So that's gonna refer to this part. Oh, hold on a second. My mic's off. My camera's closed. What the hell? We're back now. There we go. We're back. We're working on a pirate outfit. We have the boots mostly done. We have the hat well started. It's over. We just need to put it in DAZ. We've got it started texturing. I'm going to make a cutlass with a scabbard to go with this. And right now we're in Marvelous Designer. I have to do a few more things in here. Excuse me. Then we can export this out to DAZ for Genesis 9 and Genesis 8 female. So that's what's on tap. And also, yeah, today is National Get Over It Day. Also, it's National Barbie Day. I was kind of torn which one to celebrate, but I got over it. so there you go. Let's do an offset insert. Offset is an internal line. We're going to make this 25. That's going to become a waistband. We're going to cut and sew those. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to copy that. We're going to make another material out of that called pants underscore waist. We'll select these guys and come down to here where it says pants and change that to pants underscore waist. And you still say pants. Once upon a time, they all would change. Somebody much cleverer than me at Marvelous Designer thought that making it that easy shouldn't be done, so they fixed that. Way to go, Team Marvelous Designer. Fixing stuff that didn't need to be fixed. You know what? Some weirdo probably whined about it. They go, okay, we'll make it harder for the people who are actually taking advantage of that. That's sometimes I feel that's the way that they make some improvements, but on the other hand, they break some other shit and never get around to fixing it. Okay, we're gonna duplicate this. Is there a copy button? I need a copy button over here for that. These are going to be cuffs. That's going to be the stuff at the bottom. So I'm going to grab all of those because I can't just grab two. Even though they're linked mirrored, but I can't change the materials linked anymore. That's kind of what I'm whining about. I'm gonna tweak these colors so they look a little different. Oops, I should have left that open. I'm done now. I can apply and close. Okay. I think these are the backs. Yeah. So I'm gonna put we're going to run seams through the crotches, and we're also going to put trim seams down the edges. Although I don't think I really need it with this outfit, but I'm going to put them there anyhow in case. Nothing quite like being halfway through a project where you're going, you know what I really need is a trim line right here. And not having set it up. So it doesn't hurt to do it in advance. Offset is internal lines. These are just going to be little 5s. Say okay to that. We're going to cut and sew all that. I'm going to come over here, copy that material. Pants. Trim. Let's change that color. And then I have to select. See, this is where it used to be useful because it was mirrored. If I changed it here, it changed the length, but no, now I have to go over here and select these two as well. And then I can change them all. Okay, I also want to add trim in the crotch. I'm going to put, or maybe, yeah, I want a little trim in the crotch. Or do I? Actually, I don't think so. I think I'm going to leave the crotch alone. I'm thinking if I do like a transparent material, I don't really need it. Although it's nice to have this kind of, looks like it'll have finish edges on the front, on the inside seam and the out seam. So I think I'm going to leave it like that. I think with that, that kind of, oh yeah, I was working on these materials up here. I was renaming them. That's going to be belt over. I got belt over, belt attachment, belt loops. Let's give these some colors. This kind of looks like a tan. I think we'll start with that. What is that? Is that? Yeah, spam, 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 spam. Here, let's tweak that color. You're kind of a brownie color like that. I'm going to apply that. Here's what I should have done earlier. I'm doing multiple colors, I should kind of remember to not just apply. Now I can apply and close, and we're good. All right, let's double check. Make sure everything's quad optimized. All right, let's take a look at our UVs because I did some trimming. It probably screwed some stuff up in there. Or maybe not. I'm going to redo these just to make sure. So in my 2D window, I kind of have stuff laid out the way I want my UVs. So we're going to reset to that and fit to 01 and say okay on that. I think I'm good. We'll switch back to the 2D pattern window and I'll hit save on this. And the belt gets exported out from the rest of it. I'm still not happy with the way that belt's looking. I'm going to see if I can get that a little. Well, the belt's going to be finished up in Blender. The belt isn't going to be dynamic. I'm going to give it actual thickness while the rest of the outfit is. And right now it's all one piece. Later on, I think I might split the top from the bottom. So you can load in the shirt or you can load in the pants. But right now it's just convenient to have it all grouped together. It makes it easier for adding morphs and things. I don't have to add morphs twice to both pieces. I can just run through the process once. Okay, we're going to do this. This is a little bunchy. Oh, that's off. There's my problem. What the hell? What the hell happened there? I must have touched something. I'm going to have to redo the UVs after this. Just to make sure. Look at that. You bad boy. Oh, you know what? I probably had one of those cases where the fill got loose. Every now and then when I'm working with stuff, if you move a pattern, occasionally it likes to not have the fill go with it, this color. And to fix that, I try to nudge. You have to nudge points. And I may have forgotten to nudge them back. See, this isn't quite lined up, is it? I'm just going to drag that way. We're going to drag these back. And we're still using linked editing, so we should be good on the other side. Okay, let's see. And that might get rid of the goofiness I'm actually seeing in here. There we go. That's much happier. Yo, Willie, how are you doing? I think I'm going to... Oh, these are still fudged up. How did you get fudged? I must have accidentally grabbed you. I didn't like the way that moved. We're going to do it again. We're going to zoom in. You just kind of drag and hope that it snaps nicely. Boop. That looked like it snapped nicely. Check that one looks good. And the other one should be... All right, let's see if that... Much better. Wilhelm in the house, bye-bye. I'm going to strengthen these up so that they, or make sure everything, this is called belt loops. Let's come down here and set that custom fabric to, there's a leather in here, which I always seem to roll past. I'm moving slowly today. It should be right there, leather full grain. That smooth that out. I should make the entire belt. We're going to check all of these and make sure they all say leather full grain. Did I go past yet? I haven't. Trim hardware, leather full grain. There we go. So that's those. What is belt over? So I have belt overs already, leather belt attachment. I'm going to set that. The belt attachment actually will become invisible in DAZ. It's just there to help hold things together. That's all it's supposed to do. I might even delete it in Blender. We'll see. If I were to make this dynamic, it would come in really handy. But I've decided that that's not a feature I really need with this. And my brain has stopped. What am I doing? I'm setting belt attachment to be leather. That was it. Then I have to double check the UVs because I moved some vertices around. Did I go too far? There it is. I see it. I see it. Okay, I'm going to unstrengthen this. Here, we'll put the accurate sim on here. Let me hit save here real quick before I lose something. At the end of stream on Saturday afternoon, stuff crashed. That was sad. All right, let's come. It's hard to see because I've got my Riva tuner in the way. Let's do that. And I'll just kind of let it settle out. We're liking how that belt's going. All right, we're good. We're good. I'm going to call that good. Let's hit save. Let's double check the UVs. I'm going to just reset and fit. Hit save. We should be good. We're ready to start adding more. These are frozen. I'm going to make those strong. We're going to turn gravity off. Then we're going to load in our morph targets and see how that goes. I keep forgetting they got this little tab down here now. Yo, DJ Ray. Get over it, man. How are you doing today, Ray? Oh, you know me. I'm always good. Is that it, Ray? Okay, so I'm going to unfreeze those. They are strengthened. I'm going to pop in here and turn our gravity off for a little bit. I'm always good. Yeah, you have that T-shirt, right? It says I'm always good now, right? I'm always good. Quote DJ Ray. Partay on 5 day a week, mostly. I'm liking your new hours actually. Your 9 to 1 seems to work. At least I like them. I don't know if you like them. I think it gets you to bed earlier than 6 in the morning or whatever you were doing before. Select you. Come over here to G9. Come down here to base. Right click, add to workspace. Load as a Morphe target and say OK. All right, so it has successfully fitted to the base Genesis 9. So we're going to So I'm going to select everything. We're going to deselect the belt. We're going to export this out as Seawolf outfit. That's what this is called, Seawolf. Export OBJ selected. Where am I? I'm in Seawolf. This is Seawolf outfit Genesis 9. G9. Because I'm lazy that way. Alright. We're going to just double check. I'm not bringing in any extraneous stuff I don't need. We want to do thin, we want to do welded, and we want to make sure our scale is still meters. Every now and then, I'll be working for like months and then suddenly it'll screw this up and make it thick. Nothing quite like realizing that it just randomly changed the ticks you're used to and suddenly you got a thick mesh, which is totally useless for tasks. Anyhow, that's looking good. We're going to do the belt. We're going to take that in the blender and give it actual thickness. And then we're going to actually add a buckle to it too. And when I'm doing that, file export OBJ selected. Is that what? Yeah, that's it. File export OBJs. This is going to be a Seawolf belt. G9. Save that. Okay. Let's go ahead and save this as the base G9 base version. So I'm gonna put that there, Pirate 26 G9, and I'm gonna say base so I know it's not the feminine version. My workflow, I generally will model to the G9 feminine shape and then split it off to the base and the G8 feminine from there. Okay, so that's good. Let's go ahead and reopen up the base file or the feminine file, which we saved just a little earlier. What do you mean uploading closet? Don't upload the closet. Stop that. I didn't want that. What did I click on? Did I save my project? I did. I wanted to do open project. I swear, everybody in wanting you to use the cloud. No, rely on us. We've got you covered, man, until we go out of business, and then you're fucked. But that's okay. We're gonna make you talk to the server anyhow for a key if you actually own your software, but most of you don't. Okay, this is good. Open project. Okay, we're gonna fit this to. Did I thought I unfroze those. Okay, we're good. Now we're gonna. I'm looking for there's my Genesis 8 shape that I've been using. This is like 97% of the real Genesis 8, but it works a little bit better for fitting clothes. But it means that when I import it into DAZ, I have to scale it up slightly. So we're going to add you to the workspace. You are an add. You are a morph target. The rest of this should be copacetic. We're going to say okay. And she becomes a little taller. Those legs get wider. But she doesn't actually. Her waist is actually a little bit thinner than the Genesis 9. Anyhow, this will work for Genesis 8. We're good. All right, so we're going to do the same thing we did before. Actually, let's in a slightly different order. Where's this pants? I should recheck that. Where's my crotch at? That's a little low, but not too bad. I suppose I can live with that. Although this line here, I'm going to try to get the belt to come down a little bit further. Hey, thanks for the work, Luke, Willie. And I should double check because I don't want this seam to be under the belt. Because that's the, actually, no, that's fine. I have a waistband in there. We're good. Never mind. We're going to save. I'm going to do file save as project. It's kind of like that, except it's going to say Genesis 8 female. And then we're going to export. So I'm going to deselect that stuff. And we're going to do file export OBJ selected. All right, we're looking at a Marvelous Designer folder because I imported in something from there instead of where I last exported stuff. There we go. Outfit Genesis 8 female. Daz does a much better job of opening up the last used directory. It doesn't just mindlessly do it for no matter what you're doing. You know, if you're importing or exporting stuff, it kind of keeps track of where that was as opposed to, you know, where you're loading a figure in or where you're loading a texture from. So that is a nice feature with Daz. Is that good? That's good. Seawolf outfit. We're good. Then we'll do the belt. We should get our export options though. Thin and welded and meters. Okay. And then we'll just get this stuff. The belt. I'm probably not going to use this. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to use this as a guide. We're going to detail out the Genesis 8 version. And I don't want to do that twice. So we're then going to take that, the Genesis 9 version, and fit it to Genesis 8 probably in the modeler. But if I export this, I can bring it in and it shows me how I have to line up the G9 to fit the G8. So we're going to save that. I like the Type G8 female. It just makes it easier for me to see the difference. My eyes are getting bad, so G8F isn't quite different enough from G9 for me to easily pick them out. I think that's good then. Welded and meters. Alrighty. I think we're good in here. I think our fun with Marvelous Designer is done for the day. I still haven't converted the boots over, which is fine because I can adjust for the pants. So we're good. I'm going to hit save on this. I'm going to put this away. We're going to bring Daz Studio open. Have a little bit of coffee with milk. Okay, we're going to fit this so I can still see chat and you can see the whole window. All right, we're going to load in the Genesis 9 version and set it up. I vaguely recall. I'm gonna hide my content directory for just a second behind my chat window there. Okay, my content directory's safe. I vaguely recall setting up a folder for this. Yep, and I think I set up the boots, right? At least we got the Genesis 9 boots. We have to edit those to fit the pants a little bit better. We'll take care of that. I don't know if we'll do that today on stream or not. Anywho, let's load in a Genesis 8 9 base. Let's go get our Genesis 9 object. I think you're my import button. We were working on the trench coat last, but now we're on the pirate stuff. And we want, I'm going to start with, I'm not going to bring in the belt because we're going to do the belt in Blender. And I'm debating how much detail I want in there. I do know I want, anyhow, there's the outfit. Let's get that done. That is my import settings. They look good. Looks fine. I'm just going to convert it to D-Force real quick and simulate it to make sure I don't have any major issues right off the bat. Boop. And we'll just run that. Ideally, it should just sort of slump poorly across the body, like just like that. Things we don't want to happen. We don't want to have it just vanish right off the bat. And also, we don't want to get an explosion. Although we can fix explosions. The big thing is if it vanishes right off the bat, that tells me that somewhere there's two verts occupying the same space, and D-Force does not like that. Really doesn't like that. All right, we're good. Let's use the transfer tool. Select an item. Genesis 9. Select the target object. Seawolf. All right. I can use a template. I'm going to use a bodysuit loose on this. It'll accept that. It'll do its thing. Okay, we've got some cleanup to do now. We're going to go clean up. Let's go to the geometry editor. We're going to clean up surface names because Marvel's designer hates us and likes to add crap that doesn't need to be there. If only it wasn't so good at making clothes. Hey, but we're still better. We still have a better cloth sim than most other people. So we're gonna just break other shit, and people can't say shit about it. I don't know. I think there might be other programs that compete with it now. But now that I've learned this, I feel like I'm locked in. That's my problem with Photoshop. Short sleeve ties? What are you? Oh, shirt sleeve ties. They're the ends of the cuffs. I'm gonna call those cuffs instead of ties. Cuffs makes more sense. Shirt trim around arms. Sometimes it's nice to be able to set that up separately with D-Force. You could do D-Force with weight maps, but I generally have enough surfaces in here that I can just tweak those settings without worrying about doing the weight map thing on this. You know what I think I should do is probably clean this mesh up. And I'm going to bring the belt in just to see how it lines up. But that looks like it got a little janked with the belt on top. So I think I'm going to maybe touch that up with ZBrush off the bat. We got a couple other things we do before we're actually ready to save, though. We're going to come over here to surfaces. Okay, when we converted it, it lost its D-Force. So I'm going to put the D-Force back on. I have always set this to 0.1. 0.5 is way too high, and that causes like 90% of your explosions, if even maybe more. So lowering that down to like 0.1, I almost never get explosions with that setting. So I mean, you can make it lower, and there's probably reasons to do that. Also, I tend to use mesh density at like 10 millimeters, so that seems to work nice for what I do. Are we good with the rest of this for now? Well, things I like to do is I probably have a surface up here, right? I have lace on sleeves. I don't know. Let me see if right here. I'm looking for that. I'm going to see if I can spot that. There we go. That is called shirt trim. You know what? I need this to be shirt collar trim. Do I have another material over here? Trim arms, trim lace. I'm taking, I need to see my wireframe. I think that's just sleeve. I want this and this to be the same surface, I think. And then I want to be able to why is only this ruffled? I can probably tweak that later. Anyhow, I think you're currently sleeves, right? Yeah, that's part of sleeves. I want to take this and make it trim collar, and then I also want to add this to trim collar. And I think I'm going to adjust the dynamic strength on those. And I think I can do this. Nope, missed. So if we just grab two of these like that, we could go over the geometry selection and say select loop. And I think it got all the way around. If not, we'll add more in later. We'll come over here to surfaces. Create surfaces from selected. I'm going to call you shirt underscore collar. Or top trim. I'm going to call it a collar. We'll do that. All right, let's see what we got. So if I do that, oh, it stopped over here. And did we go all the way around? Okay, there's this one little, I got this try in here that stopped the selection from going all the way around. Let's see if we can geometry selection and select loop that. Add that in. Come around to here. It looks like it went all the way around except for you. And we'll just add that to the collar. And we'll just double check. So that's now collar. So we're going to tweak the dynamic strength on that. I think I'm going to set everything to 0.9 to begin with. So it's not fully dynamics, but it's really darn close. we're going to really stiffen up the pant cuffs, which should be down here. Yep. Okay. I don't even know if I want these to be dynamic at all, so I might just switch that to 0 for now. That's going to be under the boot, so they really don't need to be doing anything. We're going to go to pant waist, and I'm going to set that to be fairly stiff. And maybe I want to add a zone in here for the shirt. That might be shirt trim. If it isn't, there's a thin line in here. I think that I should make that shirt trim waist. What am I doing? I'm changing. I'm going to make this half dynamic on the waist. So it'll hold shape, but it's still somewhat. Sorry. Let's do that. Let's come over here and we'll do a little bit of hiding. All right, that's looking good. I got a lot of stuff that probably needs to be smoothed on there, don't I? Oh, that didn't go around well, did it? Oh, you know what? It probably looped underneath. I'll smooth that out later. Let's see how much of this we can. This is probably going to be the same thing because I see this little weird try in the middle here. So geometry selection, select loop. Actually, let me see. Are you trim, by the way? You actually are trim. I'm going to go ahead and reassign that because trim is also on the sides. So we're going to just grab that geometry selection by loop. I'm going to make a new trim waist. I think we'll do that. Shirt trim waist. Create surface from selected. That's why when I separate these later, you can also adjust the stiffness on that. Okay, that's good. We're going to just come over here and hide that so I can kind of see what I've done. You know what? Add you. Select that loop. Should go around to the front. Add you. Then there's that one little triangle in the front I got to grab. Add you. You'll just double check. Looking good. Let's get the waistband back in here. I am happy-ish with that. What else we got? Oh yeah, we have to do a couple of geometry things. We're going to convert to sub D. And we'll also put the smoothing modifier on it. Is good. Am I good? Is this what I want to call this? For now, yeah, because I'm going to break it up in the pants and shirt later. So I think we're good. I think I'm ready to save this. Or I could just, you know what, let's tweak. Let me save it. Then we're going to clean up the geometry with ZBrush. All these weird folds and stuff in the back. I'm going to just smooth that out. So here we'll save as a figure prop asset. Let me make sure I have that selected. Boom. I am the Linda Coat project. You want to go over to the pirate stuff. Seawolf. People. Genesis 9. Clothing. Me. Seawolf outfit. Right in here, this will be Seawolf outfit. Product. Seawolf and option. There we go. Me, Seawolf outfit G9. Oh, one thing I want to do. I'm going to cancel this. Let me go over to the scene identification. I want to clean this up. I wanted to just say that. Probably good. All right, accept that. Now I'm going to save this. Oh, good. I'm still in the same folder. Glad I don't have to navigate back. Outfit G9. There we go. Me. Product is Seawolf. Seawolf outfit G9. I'm just going to leave that at full body. The rest of this looks good. We're going to hit accept on that. Okay, now that I've got successfully saved, I'm going to bring the belt in and use that as a reference to smooth out against. So to do this, I'm just going to import it because we're going to work on detailing it out in Blender later. But I just need belt G9. There we go. I'm going to just do this. Okay, so I want to edit this, so I'm going to select that first and then control click the other parts. It'll probably bring in the eyes anyhow. Activate Go Z, accept that. I'm going to toggle the visibility on the belt on and off in ZBrush while I smooth it out. So I'll turn it off, I'll do some smoothing, I'll turn it back on and see if I'm getting any weird poke through. Keeping in mind the belt will be thicker when we finish it up. Do I have the right thing selected? I do. So this gives me an idea of what actually I need to fix. Let's change my brush size. For starters, let's adjust the intensities. That's the smoothing intensity. That's the brush intensity. I mostly need the smoothing intensity. Okay, and then I'm just going to come over here to the subtools. And right here, we're just going to toggle that off. And I'm just going to smooth through here. I think that's the waistband right there I was just playing with. This may cause a little bit of texture distortion, but I'm not overly concerned because it's mostly supposed to be under the belt. You know, I might pull some of this back out again. Here's an opportunity to get a little more puffiness around. See, that's a nasty fold through there. So, you know, that kind of a nasty looking mess of geometry in there. And I don't like the way that is folded up. So I'm going to clean that out. And I think I'm going to, okay, let's see how we're looking. So I think that's good. I'm going to make this a little smaller. And then actually, yeah, and then I'm going to just pull out around this edge. Oops. Did I pop through? I'm pretty close. There's going to be a little bit of thickness on that. So if I'm close, it shouldn't be too bad when the belt's on. I think that's good. You know what? That may have gotten stretched on the base shape. I'm more concerned about how this will look on the, and what I might do is I might go in and actually just move some of that stuff around and make it look more ruffly. Waffles have widgets. Are the pants looking okay? Do I have any weird? I think this is going to be fine down here. I think we're just going to plop this back into, and I'm probably going to touch up the other shapes. And you're obnoxiously in the way of chat, but nothing's happened, so we're cool. Be cool. Let's put that over there. Yeah, we're going to do GoZ. I'm changing the base shape, so we're going to come over here and say update base mesh and accept that. See, that gave me a nice little poof around there. And then we're going to resave. Over that. Okay. Target file already exists. Actually, I'm going to say no here for a second because I want to cancel that. I want something I wanted to do over here. Mesh smoothing. I want to change that to generic. Also, I think I'm going to add an inflate to this. They call it a push, so I'm going to add a push modifier. And I'm going to call it inflate because it looks like it inflates if you've used a push modifier. And I do have an expand all, but it does a little bit different than what this does. Inflate. I can't tell if that's spelled right. Blade. I hope that was spelled right. There we go. Control Shift F on that. You're over here in mesh. I'm going to move you to the adjustments. Do I have an actor adjustment? Actor adjustment. We're going to put you right there. I'll tweak the color while I'm here. Is good. I'm going to come over and come in here and we'll take a look at our adjustments here. I'm going to open it back up and then we'll clean this up. So I think we're good. Now I can save it again. I'm going to make sure we're memorized. You're my memorized figure settings. There we go. And I'm going to save you right there. And we're going to do, it already exists. Would you like to replace it? Hell yeah. Me, Seawolf. Seawolf outfit. Full body still. Is good to go. All right. Now we're going to fit this to the Genesis 8. So we should be good here. I'm going to use auto fit, but we're also going to then reshape it and reuse the transfer tool. Auto fit will bring over, actually, you know what, before I do that, I'm going to clean up a whole bunch of I'm going to add a whole bunch of morphs in here before I convert it over. That's what we're going to do. So to do that, I'm going to come over, we're going to do file open. I'm going to add up, load in my secret morph adding file. I'm going to be bold. I'm not going to save any changes. You're going to go to promos. Excellent. I'm looking for add basic morphs. So I have these helper figures in here, which got smoother versions of the morphs than the base figure. It also has a whole bunch of extra adjustment morphs that I can project into my clothes. So I'm going to do that. Then I might not have to use those. And then I might not have to do this again for the Genesis 8 version. A bunch of the adjustment morphs will probably be good in there, but we'll see. So this file has a whole bunch of invisible figures in it. There's an invisible Genesis 8, there's an invisible Genesis 9, and fitted to each one of those is a fitting suit and a fitting dress. So in this case, I'm working with a suit, so there'll be a fitting suit on an invisible Genesis 9 in here. Right there. So I'm going to load this in. We're going to fit it to that. That will automatically project all the morphs are dialed in on this. So then when I fit this to that, it will automatically project all the morphs onto my clothes. Then I'm going to save all the morphs off the clothes. Then we're going to go back, reload this in and clean up these morphs and resave it before I then fit it to Genesis 8. And that'll hopefully save me a bunch of extra steps. Right, okay, get that outfit in here. The outfit is in. By the way, we'll do that. Helps us see. Over here, going to go to the Mish, fit to. I am looking for one of the Genesis, the G9 suit. We're going to fit it to the G9 suit. Yes, sir. I'm going to accept that. It projects all those morphs in. Yay. Now we're going to save all of that. Save all the morphs. That's all I need to do in here now. Just do that. It should write all, there's a bunch of extra adjustment morphs in here and it kind of cleans out the body shapes a little bit. Should be good. I still have to go in and touch up some morphs with ZBrush, but we'll do that later. All right, that's good. I'm going to do file new and I'm not going to save this. That's all I needed that file for, is get those more starter morphs in here. Oh, would I like to save changes? No, don't save the changes. It'll just confuse me next time. Oh, we can use ZBrush to touch up the boots too. I recently had somebody tell me how to use ZBrush better with GoZ, so yay. I can clear the GoZ cache in ZBrush, and this way I don't have to keep shutting everything down and restarting it. That will save me a good 5 minutes or so. That'll probably work out to maybe another half hour saved per project. Right, we're good. Let's load in Genesis 9. We're gonna do a little bit of cleaning up. I'm trying to get this as far along as possible before I auto fit it over the G8, and the and it saves me more work that way. Okay, well I gotta do this. We're gonna load you into that. Select that. Come over here. We're gonna go into edit mode. I'm going to select everything. We're going to set the limits because our testers at DAS like us to have limits. I could add some special morphs in here. I'll add the special morphs later. That's easy enough to do. So I want all these. So these I just have to manually clean up these names. I recently was vibe coding to make a DAS script. It it's pretty close, but what it does is it recolors and it sets the groups for everything I have chosen. So I'm going to select all of these. It isn't quite working. I have to actually, to get it to work, I had to bring it into the script editor. I'm going to try it. I have a little shortcut for it up here somewhere. Zero figure pose. It is right here. I'm going to try, click on that. It ran. I don't know what it's saying there. But where did it save everything? And actor. It's picky that way. You know what? I'm gonna just do this, and we're just gonna set property group. It did set all the colors. That saves me a bit of work. And I just have to change this. There's too many actors in the front of this now. I'm gonna get this script to work properly at some point. I think Daz knows what I'm doing and is just fucking with me. Aha, he's got a script. He's run it. This time we're not going to run the same way we ran last time. Dum dum dum. Anyhow, uh, so those are all nice and neat actors adjustment. All I have to do is I have duplicates of Lucid morphs, and some of these I have to clean up. So I'm going to save these. We're going to run over to the data folder and delete some of this stuff out, reload it in, and fix the names of some of the others. So let's do that. So we're saving our morphs. I'm just going to save everything. We'll open up our data directory while we're there. You can't, if I delete a morph in here and it's in the data directory, it will just come back next time we open the figure. It doesn't, if you're saving morphs and it's not in the list, it doesn't delete it out of your data folder. And then the way Daz loads morphs is it says, okay, we're loading. Let's go get the morphs. And it runs over to the data folder and it just grabs them all and loads them in. So where am I doing? I'm going to my data morphs, which is over in projects. Pirate. I think I missed Talk Like a Pirate Day this year. Sea wolf data. Me. Sea wolf. Okay, we're working on the outfit. We're in the morphs. So I'm basically going to go through here and tag my duplicate morphs. The way I work is I'm creating duplicate morphs with my add morph figure. So the trick is to find things like these and get rid of them in here. So I'm actually going to just move this over to screen 2. It's easier for me to do that. And then we'll just look in here. And I I only need one of these. So actually I can just kind of put this here and I can kind of see what I'm doing. So if I've got a loosen elbow in here, we're going to get rid of it. I don't see one. Do I have a loosen midriff? Yep, I got a loosen midriff right there. I got a loosen neck. I got a loosen sleeve short. I'm not seeing that there. I have a loosen waist upper and a loosen waist lower. That's these two right here. I think I get rid of those. And then we have to clean up these names down here so that they say something not gruesome like that. Maybe I can vibe code that too. that's the next step. I think that's good. So we're going to delete those. We're going to come back over here and reload this in. So those morphs should no longer be in here. And then I'm going to tediously fix these names. Problem with some of this stuff, I probably need an all-inclusive list if label is replaced with this kind of stuff. And then I don't have to be opening up these properties and cleaning up these names all the time. That might save me a bunch more time. And the cleaner I make this, the less work I have on the converting to Genesis 9 or Genesis 8, making the Genesis 8 version. Because all of this stuff gets copied over to that. So all my new surface names will be on the Genesis 9 version because we're just doing an auto fit. All of these morphs will transfer over. And these are kind of generic adjustment morphs, so they should basically work with Genesis 8. I think I'm done. I'm going to save this. We're going to open it up and just to take another quick look at it. Nope, I didn't want that. Cancel that. I want to do this. And we're only changing the morphs, so I don't have to save it as a figure prop asset. And I have the wrong thing selected, so we're not going to do that. I once inadvertently saved all the morphs in Genesis. That took like 15 minutes. And I may have done that on stream. We'll try not to do that again. So many morphs. And I'm just going to save everything. So I'm going to just resave all the morphs. We're going to delete this and then let's double check what we've got. If something goes wrong, I'm undoing like a madman. All right, that looks good. Those are nice user-facing names. And let me just check and see my adjust to the back. Crotch down. Whee! Okay, adjust front. Kind of works. I may smooth these out someday. I don't know. Just shoulders forward. You know what? This is all good. Expand all. Inflate. I gotta tweak that. I keep forgetting inflate's got weird min and max to start with. We'll do -1 and a 1. And I'm gonna say you do it as a percent, and then we'll accept that. And then I'm just gonna resave that. And we should be ready to get this over to Genesis 8. I am looking for expand. I'm looking for the inflates. In this case, I'm just going to save the 1 instead of just saving everything. There we go. It's all done, except I saved it with a value. So I have to save it again. Otherwise, it's going to load in with that value. And did I remember to say base? I may not have remembered to say base. We're going to double check the data folder and see if I accidentally created a product folder in there. All right, is good. Back over in here. Let's take a look at that. See, I did. See, I forgot to switch this base, so it saved it into a product, which if this wasn't my product, I would probably be doing that. But because this is my product, I get to use the base file. We're good. We should be ready. I'm going to delete you. I'm going to delete you. Actually, no. I'm going to bring these back because I'm going to resave this with my... No, did I apply my surface shader? I don't think I did. Doesn't make... I'm going to apply the surface shader. My generic surface shader because it's not on. It makes it a lot easier for me to put shaders on. There you are. Boom. Now I'm going to resave this. There we go. Dum dum dum. Target already exists. Do you want to replace it? Hell yeah. Me, Seawolf Alpha G9. The rest of this is still looking good. Except that. So I didn't really need to have to save that inflate because I had to save this outfit anyhow. All right. We should be good now. I'm just going to do a delete that. We're going to bring in a Genesis 8. So we're going to repeat some of those steps. But a lot of that stuff is now already kind of set up. It was teasing me. I saw a flash of a figure. There it is. All right. Here we go. We're just going to take that and load it, and it should whine. Hey, this isn't supported by this figure. Hey, let's autofit the G9. And I'm just going to say full body, and we're just going to accept that. Although I'm going to retransfer it again anyhow. We're going to update the geometry with the one we saved for, what's her name? G8 female that we saved out of Marvelous Designer. Then I'm going to rerun the transfer tool to kind of smooth out the weight maps. So this should work. Where's you my update geometry? And then we're just updating vertex locations because the rest of the stuff is kind of good. I'm gonna find my file. It's this one right here. They should be the same. They actually have the same size, so I am optimistic that when I click on this, the shape will refit. Oops, I brought it in at the wrong scale. Let's do this again. I forgot to scale it up because I work at a slightly smaller scale in Maravi. There you are. Accept that. Right here, we gotta change that. My magic number is 10309.3. It's kind of convenient to have that one memorized. There we go. That is much better. I do have kind of the goofiness, so we're going to kind of do what we did before. Fix that, but a lot of this stuff is already taken care of. I'm going to redo the smoothing modifier because the smoothing modifier that's currently, although I have it set to generic, the smoothing modifier that's currently on here is designed for the G9 shape. So we're going to remove that and recalculate that. So geometry, I'm going to remove the smoothing modifier. Edit geometry, we're going to add the smoothing modifier. I'm going to pop back over into here because we want to make sure that setting says generic. And I'm going to memorize that. So if we pop over here, we can see we've got all our clean adjustment works. And are you guys working? And they work fairly well. If some of them work kind of funny, I might go back and recalculate them. Also, I probably am going to go back and ruffle up that collar in Blender. I think just a matter of grabbing every one or two and moving around. I might actually just pull that up a little bit too. Give me a little bit more shape to that maybe. Or maybe I'm good. Maybe I just want to smooth that. Maybe smoothing is what I want to do. Anywho, let's I'm going to go ahead and save this just in case something bad happens. I hear something humming. I wonder if it's a delivery. Anyhow, I'm not there, but we're going to come over. Oh, I got to do some cleanup. That's right. We're going to change the name of this. Because you're for the Genesis 8 female. Also, I wanted to rerun the transfer tool on this. Now that I've put the updated shape in here. And I want to check my scene identifier. And that still looks good. Okay. So we'll run the transfer tool on the new shape. Genesis 8 female? Yeah, we'll do that. I can use a template, full body again. Just going to accept that. It does its thing. By default, it should keep all the morph targets in there. And if anything's really goofy, I can probably just touch it up in whatchamacallit. So I think we're good. Have I saved you yet? I think I was in the process and then I changed my mind. I was in the process. And I decided to do a couple little things. One of them I wanted to do was run the transfer tool. I think we're good now. All right, let's do this. Boom. Save as a figure prop asset. Genesis 8. Clothing. Me. Seawolf. Right in here. I'm going to borrow. Click on that just so it propagates. So I don't have to try to remember what was the name of the G9 version. There we go. Boom. All right, let's check this. You are Seawolf. You are Seawolf outfit Genesis 8 female. I'm going to set this to just be a full body wardrobe outfit for now. I'm not really going to keep this, so it's not really necessary, but I don't know. Should be good. All right, we're going to fix the waistband with ZBrush. ZBrush is still open. We're going to load in. We're going to load in that reference belt that I made. There we go. That one right there. And my scaling is still the same, so I don't have to worry about that. And then we're going to select things in the first thing selected is the object that actually gets edited. And then I'll make sure I have the other two selected just in case GoZ wants to whine or do something silly. We'll activate. Actually, before I do that, we're going to come over here to ZBrush and we're going to clear the cache. Preferences. Oops. I went too fast. Preferences, GoZ. Clear cache files. I'm going to say OK. Pop over here. Okay, slam that GoZ button. There we go. And my brush is still the same. So I'm going to come over here and hide the belt. And I'm going to kind of do what we did before. Just kind of smooth out the stuff under the belt. And if I'm not sure where I am, I'm going to kind of bring that back and forth. I wonder if there's a way to make that semi-transparent. There probably is. I'm also going to puff it up along the top edge of the belt too. Oops. I think that's good. Take a look. Yep, and I'm just going to smooth this stuff up and pull it out a little bit. I might have a weird seam right there, so I'm going to hide the belt again. Just make sure that's kind of smoothed out through there. All right, get that belt back in here. Pull this out. I'm going to switch over a slightly larger brush and get a little more pulled out. All right, we're going to double check and see if I've got any other goofiness in here that I probably should clean up at this point. And I think I was mostly happy with those on the other one. We may in the future. So I have to decide what I want to do with that. Anyhow, I think this is good. Good enough. We're going to go Z that. I'm going to update this. Actually, when I update this, I should rerun the transfer tool to adjust the maps. We're updating the base mesh. That's right. I'm going to accept that. I'm going to rerun the transfer tool just to reproject the weight maps onto this improved shape. There we go. Select an item. Genesis 8. Select another item. Sea wolf. Sea wolf? I should call you Sea Wolf. Dang it. Oh no, that's a sea. It does say Sea Wolf. Oh my gosh. I can't spell. I'm going to have to resave some stuff. I'm going to accept that. I got to double check my, I'm going blind. This is not good. Oops. Sea Wolf outfit. There we go. Let's check the scene identifier for that. And then I'm going to resave it. You say Sea Wolf. Outfit G8. That's right. Why was that wrong? Oh well. Accept that. Let's save this again. Sea Wolf outfit. There we go. Yep, we're going to overwrite that. Product is going to be Sea Wolf. Because I reran the transfer tool, I got to redo this. Okay, that should be good there. And let me just run the div. So I'm optimistic that'll be fine. Although maybe I should adjust that crotch up. I'm debating. We'll see. Okay, now what do we want to do? I'm done with Genesis 8. This is looking good. We're gonna double check the Genesis 9. Let's see if I called it Sea Wold. And resave that if I did. Yep, I totally did. Not that it's really that important with the outfit, but just in case. Okay, Sea Wold. All right, we're going to resave. Actually, let me check my scene identifier. Make sure that looks happy. That does say Sea Wolf. That does say Sea Wold. Oh, you know, I probably said Sea Wold. I probably missed that on the other one too. Dang it. Here, I'm going to resave this. Back and forth, resaving. Oh, yep. Okay, you say Sea Wolf, you say Sea Wolf. You are good to go. We'll double check and see if I've got any extraneous stuff in the data folder after we make sure we've got everything named right and saved. And when I do this, we're going to save out a version for Substance Painter out of here. No, I'm going to recolor it over in Blender, so I'm not going to worry about that here. And I'm going to save out the Substance versions later after I do the belt. Because I want to put those UVs. I'm going to end up re-UV mapping that belt. I want to sit that in that area where the current UV maps for the belt are. And this way everything... Actually, the boots have their own map. The hat will have its own map. The sword and scabbard will have a map. And then the rest of the outfit. Anywho, let's fix the Sea Wold. Okay, I did fix that. That's a hot mess there. Because I got the wrong thing selected. Doy. See, it says Seawolf. We're fixing that. Seawolf. There we go. That's better. Okay, now I'm going to save you out again. Got to head back over to the Genesis 8 folder again. Over that. Exist, yes. Me, Seawolf. Wardrobe full body. Remember that. Those all look good. Except that. We'll take a peek over in the data folder and make sure nothing's janked up too bad over there. Okay, that looks fine. Okay, here we are in the Seawolf. So I have a outfit G8 female. See, I got this twice. One of these says old, so I'm going to get rid of that. And this might break something, but we'll fix it later. And that one goes away. And let's see how this goes. We'll check this out. Make sure it doesn't complain. Hey, I'm looking for this other old folder. That seems fine. I don't actually need to load in a Genesis 9. I just want to load in the outfit for Genesis 9 and make sure I don't trip an error on import. All right. So our basic rigging is done. Yay. I don't know. Maybe we can start the cutlass in the cutlass scabbard. We'll do that, and we'll probably work on that some more tomorrow. And we'll also, I still have to bring in the boots. Or maybe we'll just fix the boots. We'll fix the boots. We'll work on the boots. That's what I want to do. Let's do that. I'm going to hide this because I don't want to load it back in again. I want to get the boots on the Genesis 8. We'll do that. And we'll save these back out with the, I think I have some textures, so we can do that. What am I doing? I'm loading a Genesis 9. There we go. And my problem is the pants are poking through the boots, I think. So we're going to fix that. And we're going to use ZBrush just to do that. There you can see the little pokey throughs in there. And then I'm going to convert the boots over to Genesis 8. Alrighty. So we're going to do kind of the same thing we did before. I'm going to clear that cache. We're going to come over here and we're going to select in order boots first, then outfit, then Genesis 8. Actually, is this stuff going to come in? This is probably going to pop in with me. So I am going to get rid of the Genesis 8 that's in there. And then select boots, outfit, Genesis 9. Pop on over here. Accept that. And these are mirrored meshes, so I can use symmetry in here. Activate symmetry. And we're just going to kind of pull that stuff out. Kind of like that. I'm just going to pull that edge out. I should use the, I'm going to switch over to the move tool. What did I hotkey that to that? I did. I hotkeyed it to the M key. Okay. And because we're doing symmetry, I don't have to do it both sides. Most of my Marvelous Designer clothes isn't symmetrical, but my shoes tend to be symmetrical because I do them in Blender mostly. I didn't want to do that. Okay, and then we're just going to double check. Oops. I'm going to switch back over to, is that my standard tool? There it is. T is my standard tool. I'm pulling it out just a little bit. I think we're good. I think I'm going to try to just smooth that out just a little bit. I probably should do that in Blender, because this program's a pain in the tuchus. Although maybe I can just, there we go. I think that looks a little bit nicer. I think we're good. So we're going to update the base mesh with this and resave it. Activate, go Z. Update base mesh. Except I'm seeing a little bit of poke through over in here, so we can pop back into ZBrush and clean those up. You don't see it in here, but you're getting the smoothing in here, and that's causing it, I think. So I'm just going to switch back, and we'll just pull this stuff out slightly. Activate Go Z again. Update the base geometry and accept. See, that's looking better. We'll just spin around. So I'm going to do a little bit more on these over here. Activate that again. Update the base geometry. That's a little bit better. All right, I see a little bit of white poking through there. I also see some white poking in up under there. So let's pop, where are you? I'm looking over in here, right? Yeah, right in here. And you are, oh, there you are. I can also make a morph that'll make those cuffs smaller. But or maybe not. Maybe I won't do that. You know what? It's probably handy to have that as an adjustment morph anyhow on the cuffs. Just in case they do accidentally poke through in a pose, you can always just make them smaller, although it might impact up there. I don't know. What am I doing? Updating the base morph, except that's looking. Oh, there's a little bit right up in there. See that little bad boy? There you are. I see you. I'm going to make this a little smaller. Okay. All right, I think I'm good. I think I'm just going to save this. And you see we've got our textures on here, so that's good. Seawolf boots. Activate the thing. Check the phone and see if anything exciting's happened. Nope. This is the Genesis 9. Cloden. Me. Seawolf outfit. Boots G9. Target file already exists. Would you like to replace it? Yes, please. I think that's going to be fine. My brain has to come back online. All right, I think we're good. I think we're good. Accepts that. Okay, I'm going to put the pose on here. I'm going to save this out with the smoothing off. And then we're going to fit these to G8. So I'm going to pose that, select the boots. I'm going to come over here and adjust a couple of things. Mesh resolution. I should probably subdivide that. Maybe not. Smoothing. I'm going to turn the smoothing off. I'm going to export this out. And I'm going to put a smoothing modifier on here, which might change the shape some. And then in mines, I might need to make some more tweaks in ZBrush. Anywho, what am I doing? I'm exporting. There we go. Pirates. Seawolf. Whips. Do I have a Boots G8? You know what? I'm going to call you. I'm going to override this one right here. Actually, I'm going to call you O3 because I'm not that bold. And save that. And accept that. Okay. Now I don't have a smoothing modifier here. Let's do that. Edit geometry. Actually, subdivision. I want a subdivision on here. Convert to sub D. Oh, it says it already is sub D. Control Shift F. Did I just not save you with the sub D on? I guess not. I'm going to resave it with the sub D on. We'll do that. Actually, what is my... And I got smoothing on here. I want to check something. My smoothing. You know, this isn't dynamic, so the base shape matching might be a little better in this case. So I think I'm going to leave that. I'm just going to make sure I have this saved out properly. I think that's all good. All right, I'm going to leave this like so. Let's go ahead and actually just hide that. Bring this in. This way I can kind of fit my Genesis 8 to fit this. I want to kind of get the Genesis 8 feet roughly posed. What I got? 10 minutes before I'm going to call it a day. And then I'm going to eat those Pop-Tarts. And if you don't like it, get over it. Here it comes. Here it comes. There it is. All right, we're going to straighten these legs out. Side to side, -6 over here. And I'm going to try to pose the feet to be roughly. We're going to double check the Genesis. Where are you? Right foot is, it says 20. So we're going to take this left foot here and bend it 20. And if I come back over here, we'll check the toes. The toes are at -15. So we'll do that. I'm not touching the metatarsus over here. Where's the, there's your foot. There's your metatarsus. There's your toes. We're going to bend you -15. And we're going to see if that looks about right. And then we're going to fit to that. You know what? I think that's going to work. I'm going to put the pants on, though, so we can fit it to both the pants at the same time so I don't have to touch up that shape afterwards. We're doing symmetry left to right. Wrong way, Wainwright. There we go. So this is going to be, I'm going to model, and you can see where these pants are. So I'm probably going to take the top of the G8 boots up to there. Another reason why I want the pants in here. So we're going to select that and the Seawolf outfit. I don't have to change the resolution because I'm not making morph targets or anything with those. I just need them for a reference. So we're going to export that. I'm just going to call this G8F boot pose. And save that. Okay, we're going to launch the Blender. Actually, we have Blender floating over here in the background. Uh-oh, I was closing. Don't save. Bye-bye, Blender. That's okay. Blender launches fast. $73. Dang. I'm probably not going to get these boots finished rigging before we go. I probably will just get them fitted. Import projects. I'm going to sort by name. Makes it easier for me to find things. Because Marvelous Designer does some sort of last date used thing that I don't understand. Pirates, Seawolf, Whip. I want that. And I want that, the boots that I just saved. Seawolf. Am I? Seawolf Boots 03. There we go. And then we're just going to get this to fit that. That's the plan. You know what? I may be able to get away with deleting half of this and mirroring it. Do I want to transfer? You know what? I'm going to do that. Control L. Delete. Vertices. I missed some. The belco wasn't connected. And then what we're going to do is we'll put a mirror modifier on here. Generate mirror. I'm going to come over here to data and we're going to make sure those UVs get mirrored. I'm just going to come check over here. Make sure that's all copacetic. Back into here. And now the idea is to kind of get this to fit that. And do I still have cool material names? I do. Yay. I'm going to grab the boot cuff. Select that. If I do this, I think that's good. Actually, what if I do, I'm just going to grab this top edge and then expand that. So ideally, there we go. I have all of that selected like that. And then we'll put on a little proportional editing. Switch over to just the move tool. I'm going to adjust that fall off. I think I'm going the wrong way. So that I'm only moving like from about there. So we're going to move you up like so. Move you over a little bit. I think I'm going to bring you down just a hair. So that's maybe make you forward a little bit. And then we're looking for little pokey through areas like that. And I'm just going to adjust the fall off on that. We'll just kind of pull that stuff out like so. Well, I got a lot of big problem in here, don't I? Well, just to do that. Am I down connected or not connected? Okay, so right now I want to leave that not connected only Because when I pull this out, I also want to move that cuff. Do that. Maybe bring you back a little. I think that's good. How's the... I think that'll do. I'm going to do some major movement on the foot here. So I think I'll look at it from the side. We're going to switch over to... Can I just select through here and expand that? Maybe a bit like so. So what I want to do is I'm going to look at it from here. And let's turn... I can't see nothing with that. Never mind. That was a bad idea. I'm just going to kind of bring that back towards the heel. And I think we're going to bring that up a little bit. Maybe back a little. And then we'll see how we're... Maybe forward a little bit because I'm getting that big toe popping out, aren't I? So I think I'll try to get that big toe covered. And then we'll just... the heel popping out yet? Nope. So let's pull this a little forward still. See if you can get that big toe all the way in. See, I got a little bit of the heel coming out now. Maybe slide you over a little bit. And now we're just going to grab stuff and proportionally edit it into place. I'm going to adjust that fall off. We're getting there. Come through here. Pull that out a little. Actually, let's come all the way through here. Okay, I got a couple of spots over here. I think that's good. I thought I did see something back in here. Can use a little fix in here. I got a spot poking out in the back there. I'm going the wrong way. Almost there. It's 401. So I'm going to finish this shape and we're just going to get it set onto, and I'm not going to make any real fixes on it. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. And I think I can update. I think this will still work as a morph target. Here, let's do this. Activate export. Let's switch this to my DAZ presets, so I'm only doing the selected. I'm going to come here to whip. I'm going to click on that and say G8F. Export that. And we'll pop back over to here. We're going to hide the G9 boots. And then I'm going to select G8 and we're going to fit. I'm going to go just a wee bit over to get this fitted on here. There's a lot more cleanup that still needs to be done, but we'll just do this. We'll just use the transfer tool. Genesis. There it is. We're auto fitting. We're auto fitting, baby. I'm just gonna say full body on that. Except I forgot to save the pose. No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm gonna, because it's not gonna reset. I don't think, or it might. No, I don't think it does with the transfer with the auto fit. There we go. I'm gonna let's save that pose out. Oh, hold on just a second. I'll be just a minute. All right, sorry about that. I'm coming back. Okay, are we? I'm saving the boot pose. Where's my camera? So we're over here, and I'm not in the camera. That might there. That should be better. There we go. We're going to select the Genesis 9. Pose preset. Boots pose. Activate that. We're going to select only the feet. Should be good. I'm going to load in our fixed shape as a morph target. And then we're going to use that to update the base geometry. Actually, that was a pretty the angle's a little off, I think. So we're going to select the boots. We're going to rename the boots. Because right now they still say Genesis 9. You know what? Did I change the scene identifier on those? G8 female. Let's double check our scene identifier. That looks good. Okay, we're going to load in our good shape to compensate for this as a morph target. That's my Morph Loader Pro right there. Choose more files. I have to go. That one right there. Okay, here comes the moment of truth. Is it going to work? I've got the boot selected. I actually have the boot selected this time. It loaded in. Yay! I didn't break anything by mirroring it, so we're going to say okay to that. Come over here. Where did you go? Did I not load you in? Do I have the right boot selected? I do. Did I not bring in my shape? I thought I did. Arg. Oh, there it is, Morse. This one right here. So if I dial that, it changes the shape to the good shape. Now what I'm going to do is reset the Genesis pose. We're going to export this out at base resolution. Turn the smoothing off. Export that. I'm not going to overwrite that. I'm going to call this an O2 or something like that. We're going to update the geometry with this. Okay, so now we're going to turn that morph off. So we're just going to reset that, update the geometry with the shape we just made. Accept that. Got to remember to change that value back to 10,000. Oh no, target geometry does not match because I probably... oh, I reset you back to the base mesh. That's right. Control Z. There we go. No, you should be right. Did I not export you out like this? I'm gonna do this just one more time and we're gonna find somebody to raid and call it a day. Export that. Oh, look at that. That number is totally wrong, isn't it? That's almost like I selected the, something else, not the boots. Already exists. Would you like to replace it? Yes, please. Accept. Okay, it's good. Now I'm going to reset it. Now we'll try to update the geometry. See, that's better. And that looks good. And there we go. We fixed the shape. So I can save it like that. We'll just double check with our pose. I may tweak that a little bit. My feet aren't bending right, are they? Yeah, my pose didn't get saved with a foot bend in it. I can fix that. Anyhow, we're going to call it here for the day. So we've got good progress on the outfits. I've got good progress on the boots. Well, I need to work. So things still to do. We still need to still need to tweak the belt or model the belt out in Blender. We still need to model a cutlass and a scabbard. We need to get the hat in here and a lot of texture work. So, yeah, thank you all for being here. Let's find somebody to raid, and I'm going to call it a day. I will be back, by the way, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I have no idea what that is, what the time is for the rest of the world anymore, but, and Chris Cox Twitch, there we go. I'm going to see who's on, and we'll go probably hang out with another artist. Worst case scenario is I think Maddie Tweak Screams, a good music friend. Sally Quinn is on. That's my leaning candidate. I'm going to see if any of the close art friends are on. Memloss is doing Grand Theft Auto. We do occasionally raid them. You know what? Let's go over and say hi to Sally Quinn. If you haven't seen her before, she is an artist. She does body painting and gaming
We're naturally off for 2 weeks.
and
So we're gonna be off for 4 weeks.
regular painting and stuff. It looks like today she's a commission painting day. So we'll go over and say hi to her. So thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I hope you have a good rest of a Monday or Tuesday for those of you on the happy side of the planet. And let's get this raid going. Hey, I sell stuff at Daz. Feel free to buy my shit. Hey, I have a Discord. Feel free to join my shit. If you post stuff in the gallery, we share them on Saturdays. Also, I try to announce whether I'm actually streaming on scheduled streaming days in the Discord. Yo, Napsmore, good to see you, man. Hey, check out my friend Charles. He hasn't been streaming, but if you want to see anything not safe for work that I might post on the internet, it'll probably show up over at Charles's because I don't put not safe for work stuff in my own Discord. So you can look over there at Charles's Discord. A cool guy, by the way. And we got the raid calls. If you can stick around for the raid and you're not a sub, you can use that one. If you are a sub, you are super cool and you get to use the sub raid call. Something like that. And so let's do this. We are going to go over and say hi to Sally Quinn Creations. Today she is doing a commission painting. So let's get this raid on the road. And I appreciate you all being here. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. And did I start my raid? I can't tell because it doesn't show over there. It shows over here. Yay. Anyhow, and with that, hasta la vista, baby.